Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. Every single day of these days has been a roller coaster, up and down. Looking what's going on in this world, at our college campuses, on the streets of New York, Chicago, California, Boston, seeing what's going on in Dagestan, in London, all over the world has been tough. Today we got a little bit of good news when we found out that Ori Megidish, a soldier who was kidnapped by Hamas, she was in the observation tower at the Gaza border and she was kidnapped, and it was a brutal video we all watched of them dragging her, and then the video of her tied together, and for 3 weeks, of course, she wasn't to be heard of. And today we saw those remarkable pictures and videos of her being reunited with her family, of her coming home to her grandmother who's hugging her and kissing her, of the shofar they blew. And it gives us a glimpse. It gives us a glimpse of hopefully what we will have another 240 times when we get out those prisoners, those hostages who are in Gaza. But for that one moment, it was something to celebrate. And I'm not sure if you saw it, I posted this on Facebook, but there's a video of Channel 11, the moment they find out, and the anchor announces it on live TV. And I watched it, and for some reason I found myself crying, hearing the news and seeing the joy, and watching outside her home as there are thousands or hundreds of people dancing and celebrating. And it made me think, I'm sitting in Boston. I'm 7,000 miles away from Israel. I never met this girl. There's still 240 hostages. But yet this brought such a joy in me to celebrate this individual, this soldier who risked her life for Israel and was kidnapped. And we found one happy ending. And I saw a remarkable interview on TV where one of the people who lost his daughter to the murderers on October 7th says, I lost my daughter, she's never coming back, but I'm so happy for Ori's parents and grandparents. You see the unity of Am Yisrael. You see the joy one for another, the love. When we're together, no one could stop us. And for the Tzahal and the Shabak, the Mossad, to be able to do this in the depth of Gaza. We all speak about the failure of October 7th, which will have its day to talk about. But for them to be able to risk themselves and get her out alive while no one getting injured is a remarkable feat, and tells us what's possible to be done. And God willing, they'll free more hostages and eradicate more terror. And it made me think about something in this week's portion that we read on Shabbat, this past Shabbat. And we read about when God tells Abraham to promise, the first Jew, and God tells him that he's going to give the land of Israel to the Jewish people. And afterwards, God tells him, God takes him outside, and God asks him, could you count the stars? Just as you can't count the stars, so too your children won't be able to be counted. And the question is, what's going on here? Did God want him to count it or not? If he didn't want him to count it, or if he wanted to tell him it's not countable, why did he say, could you count the stars? And secondly, what's the message here? We haven't been as numerous as the stars. How many stars are there? Just in our Milky Galaxy, there's 100 billion to 1 trillion stars. And how many galaxies are there? There's 76 trillion. Who knows how many stars there are? We're not that numerous. And there's a beautiful interpretation that the Hasidic masters give us. What would you do if someone told you go count the stars? The 6 trillion stars, 76 trillion, whatever it may be. What would you do? You would say, go jump in the lake. But what does Abraham do? The moment God tells Abraham to count the stars, he goes out and he starts counting. Says God to him, Koi yi yazarecha, so will be your children. Just as you always tried to do the impossible and never gave up on anything, so too your children will always be able to do the accomplish, and they'll never shy away from a mission, no matter how hard. Abraham, God says, go count the stars, and instead of saying, no, it's impossible, he goes out to do it. Says God, that's going to be the story of the Jewish children. So many of you look around and you're despondent. You're sad. You look at the hatred. You look at the double standard. You look at the universities. You look at the words, the vile words coming out of demonstrators on the streets of America. We're not talking about London. We're not even talking about France or the Arab countries or Russia. And you're despondent. And you look at what happened on October 7th and you see the world that has no sympathy, that doesn't care about Israel or Jewish blood, and you get worried. But we have to remember the promise that God made to Abraham. Kol yiyeh zaracha. Us Jews, when we're united, when we're one, when we love each other, when we embrace each other, the sky's the limit. The impossible is able to be made possible. May God protect the soldiers, the IDF, the Mossad, the Shabak, the hostages, every single Jew in Israel and all over the world. And maybe remember that through our unity, we could accomplish that which is impossible. Am Yisrael Chai. Have a great day.